I am so excited for Version Up and the Volume Up tour. This is the second time I've booked a trip somewhere and one of my ults announces a concert there soon after. First, I booked a trip to Korea in 2019 and EXO's Exploration Tour started the day we landed. Didn't get tickets, by the way. And now I book a trip to Paris with my parents and the Odd Eye Circle Paris date is the day before we leave and I'm gonna meet them. But we're not here to talk about opportunities to see our ults live, we're here to talk about solo album concepts for LOONA. Or at least that's what I'm here to talk about. I figured originally I would just go in debut order, but then I thought, should I just plan out a release schedule? So since it's July, I figured we should start from there. Keep in mind, I don't expect all of these to happen in the same year, I'm just going by the months of release I had in mind for some sense of structure. The first release I have in my head would be in August. Our first release would thus be from Yeojin. Something about her just screams summer fun to me, but not like something you would listen to all summer, more that late summer, early autumn. I thought for a bit on what would be the perfect album title for her, and I eventually settled on Ruby. I assume most of you would know why, but if you don't, it's because her English name is Ruby, although it's sometimes romanized as Luby. I figured, what would be more Yeojin than using her name? For a second, I considered going the Nayeon route since they both romanize their family name as Im and not Lim, and go with I'm Yeojin as the title. But that's not good enough, so Ruby it is. Both her name and a precious gemstone. Technically, it would be better to have this in July then, since rubies are the July birthstone, but this could be a late July release too. So now that the name of the album is out of the way, let's get into the track list. Opening the album is the title track, Somi's Birthday. I'ma shake it like you want my birthday. Ay. I don't think there are many people who can pull that off, but Yeojin is definitely one of them. Following that is Hyo's Sober. Only love you when I'm sober. One of Hyoyeon's lesser known solo tracks, but I think it suits Yeojin so much. I think she would really like the more mature themes. The third track would be Sunmi's La La Lay. I feel like that might be the most unexpected pick of this whole video. Up next is CL's Paradox 17, 11, 15. Something about her voice in the song just said Yeojin to me. Rounding out the album is Rainbow Notes' Venus. What can I say? City pop just works for her. After her, we move into September for Heejun solo. Going against the grain, I wanted her to have very guitar-driven songs, but also vocal-heavy. Not rock, but electric guitars and strong bass lines are the signature. Matching with the season and the theme of the album, I decided to call her album Fading. Opening the album is Taeyeon's Toddler, a song that embodies what I just described with the guitar and bass. More than that, however, it's a song about a childhood lost, and I don't know what it is, but something tells me Hyeju would execute that perfectly. The title track would be Somi's Dum Dum. I feel like the range and tone suits her a lot. It's less guitar, more piano, but I think it would suit her performance capabilities while being almost as far away from Egoist as you can get while still staying within something that suits Heejun. Following that is the song I kind of built her album around, Boa's Forgive Me. Not only do I think the sound and performance suit her, the song is about letting go of a toxic relationship, which would be so reminiscent of her original solo and more appropriate than ever now that she's left BBC. We're back to the strong bass line for both fours of Workaholic. The song is essentially about burnout from overworking, and I feel like out of all the members, Heejun would be the best at expressing a song like this. It kind of reminds me of her Dalplay. The final track of the album is Haze's Didn't Know Me. I do believe Haze and Heejun's voices were designed as fraternal twins because the way I can hear Heejun in almost every Haze song is uncanny. The song is about the narrator realizing that as much as she cursed her ex for treating her badly by breaking up with her, she was even worse to him. I wouldn't say it suits Heejun particularly in the lyrics department, but just try telling me she wouldn't eat up a song like this. I actually have 3 solos I think would fit October. Again, I'm not expecting these to happen in the same calendar year, but I'll start with the one I think suits early October, which is Kim Lip. For her solo, I know we all know she can pull off R&B like nobody's business, but my alt bias is Kyungsoo, also known as EXO's Dio, so I know from personal experience that that doesn't necessarily mean she will do R&B. I know a lot of people want her to either do Eclipse 2.0 or something like Eunbi's Glitch, but I approached her album more from the point of view of, does this sound like something Kim Jong-un would do? Is this a concept that suits her? That's why I chose Rosaceae as her album title. Her entire career has been accompanied by red roses. Why not name her first solo album after their genus? I didn't actually pick any title track for her track list, just B-sides, but out of all of them, I feel like the strongest choice is the opener, Changa's Bother Me. I want something that shows off her vocal tone and dancing. Following that is Tiffany's Talk. The vibe I was kind of going for was almost club style, but then I heard Talk and it was just screaming Kim Lip to me. I don't know what it is about it. Keeping with that is Sohyun's Magic. So far all the choruses have had pretty similar vibes in a way, somewhat repetitive, easy to sing along to, focus on instrumentals. Also some heavy R&B influence mixed with more electronic instrumentals. I'm bad at music terms, okay? I deal in vibes and vibes alone. However, the bridge on this one will really do Miss Kim Lip justice. So you guys know Boa's Better? That's not the next track, but one of the B-sides is. Miss Honey and Diamonds continues the vibes impeccably. This album is really so incredibly suited for bopping along to. I would say dancing, but I'm chronically white. Best believe, however, if I was a club DJ, all of these songs would make an appearance. The one outlier on this tracklist is the closest thing it has to a ballad, the final track, Taeyeon's Lonely Night. This is Kim Lip after all, she needs a vocal showcase. It's kind of like if you turned up the tempo on Twilight, just a bit. So the other October member is Chuu. I felt like it was just so suitable for her to release a solo album around her birthday. As a very public persona with a very distinct personality, I wanted to have her album title reflect that although she is being her genuine self on camera, there's still a lot of aspects of herself that hide behind it. Parts that she doesn't want to show to the public, similar to how she kept a very bright and positive public image despite the issues she was going through with BBC and how they had been treating her and the members. That's why I chose Mirage as her album title, not in the sense that she's presenting a fake image of herself, but that there's more than meets the eye. Jumping straight back in with another Taeyeon song, this time I think Curtain Call would be such a great title track for Chuu. The melancholic vibes and the very different vocal style would differentiate this from Heart Attack, but she could still employ reminiscent visual elements. Chuu alone on stage, singing her heart out with just a mic while the music video cuts to her backstage getting ready, surrounded by her past in the form of pictures. I think it would just suit her so much. Not that I think this should be her, like, saying goodbye to LOONA, I just like the idea of this being her new beginning, new style. The first B-side is Yerenbeek's Popo, How Deep Is Our Love. It reminds me of French cafes and that kind of romantic Parisian spring you see in movies all the time. And not just because she references Paris in the lyrics. Can I walk with you, or have a tea with you? Anyways, it's much calmer than most people would expect to hear from Chuu, but just listen to it and tell me you can't just picture her in a live band session singing this, but in Korean. All in all, I wanted her album to have a more acoustic and chill vibe, not necessarily power ballads and crazy high notes. I care about her voice. Things get a lot more melancholic for IU's Love Poem, which is almost the vocal showcase of the album. I just love Chuu's lower register and her emoting. She really was born to be a singer. Might be a controversial choice to follow that up with Balfour's Mermaid, because I don't think people hear her voice and think Chuu, but the way the instrumentals mostly drop out in the first chorus and it's just her voice and the piano, art. The last song on the album is Hyun's The Lonely Bloom Stands Alone. Although the first verse and chorus are quiet, by the last chorus her belt will really get to shine. This is the vocal showcase of the album. The last October solo is one I imagine that could be really late October, early November, and that is Hyunjin. If you're noticing a naming theme, you would be correct. I wanted all of these albums to allow for them to express themselves in a way I think they have tried to in the past. It's hard for me to decide what that is since I don't know them personally, but I did try to go for sounds and styles and even songs they themselves have expressed liking and wanting to do. So for Hyunjin's album, I decided to call it Self-Reflect with a slash in the middle. For her album, I went for more of that big band jazzy sound, but I also really wanted her to be able to show off her belting. Opening the album is the representative jazz solo of K-pop, Sungjiin's 25. Despite being a great song that can show off her range and performance capabilities, I didn't think it really fit the image of Hyunjin as a soloist that I was aiming for. It's a great opener for the album though. So I chose Ailey's Mind Your Own Business as her title track. That type of chorus sounds exactly like the style of singing Hyunjin has been trying to prove she can do. Also, she already released a ballad as her title track. She deserves a fun and upbeat song she can perform to. She's also so gorgeous, so I was thinking she could really take that old Hollywood glamour style and devour it for the music video. Following that is Seohyun's Bad Love, which is kind of a more modern take on the big band jazz sound, just using more electronic trumpets than real brass. My love is true. My love is true. It's a bit darker than Ailey's song, so it allows Hyunjin to show range in her vocal color. Taking on more of a piano-focused jazz in the next one, this song is both kind of reminiscent of her style in Around You, but updated a lot, even including a small rap. The song in question is Haze's Sorry. With a bit of scatting in the post-chorus, the overall sound of the song is much more mellow than the previous three. The album ends with the first feature of the project, 15 And's Sugar. Described as a Motown track, it draws inspiration from 60s style of music, mainly R&B and soul, but retains the signature Motown instrumentals, making it a much more upbeat ending to the album. I said this was going to be a feature, and I would love it so much if Hyunjin collaborated with Weekly's Monday on a song like this. If I ever did that, I think I'd ever heard a time. I can already see the live band performance video. Going from 3-in-1 to only 1, November greets us with only Heejin's solo album. And no, Hyunjin and Heejin switching solo months was not intentional. There is a tendency among orbits to want the new LOONA solos to sound like their original solos, contrary to the type of songs they've expressed interest in or the kind of concepts that are among their strengths. This has led to a lot of people wanting Heejin's solo to be like Unbi's Door. But I'm just built different or something, because I want Heejin's solo to have a much darker edge to it. That's why I named her album Disturbia. Although I don't think Heejin has any kind of distress about modern life, I thought she would suit a dollhouse kind of photoshoot and songs about that topic. Opening the album is Taeyeon's Cold as Hell. The music box instrumentals throughout mixed with the electronic elements are amazing on their own, but everybody knows you turn on a Taeyeon song for the vocal performance. Yeah, it's getting cold as hell, cold as hell. The way Taeyeon utilizes her tone and color, especially her lower range in the verses, I can just hear Heejin pulling this off. Following that is a song I wouldn't expect her to promote per se, but if she didn't give us a performance video to it, I would be forced to unstan. Exaggerating because I am parasocially bonded to these girls for life. But in all seriousness, BB's Animal Farm is the second track on the album and one I need Heejin to perform. The references to Animal Farm the book is just another piece of a great puzzle. Even though I think George Orwell was a hypocritical piece of privileged shit, he kinda ate this one thing a little bit. That leads us to the title track. Now, having the title track in the middle of the album may be a strange move, but I always organize my projects with a sense of how the songs feed into each other. I am a shuffle gal myself, but a first listen of an album should always be in order in my opinion, so I try my best to make that cohesive. That's how we end up with Gain's Paradise Lost as the third and title track. I have seen people give this to Yves as a solo, and I also agree with that, but I think Heejin would absolutely eat up this concept and sound. In her recent interview with First Look, she said the one skill she wants to improve the most is her singing, but we all know she's an incredibly strong dancer too. That's why I wanted her to get a title track that showcases both her amazing dancing and her amazing vocals. Past the halfway point, we take a sharp left turn into LOONA's Keep On Doing. Heejin's actually why I listened to this song in the first place. I was in my title tracks only from non-LOONA, non-EXO's era at the time. It's okay. I think the sudden bright turn is also so Heejin because that girl is nothing if not full of surprises. I would argue this is the most vocally challenging song on the album. Finally, the album closes with Chungha's Chica. You look me in the eye and tell me Heejin wouldn't release a song about encouraging herself and other women to see themselves as beautiful and powerful. You can't. She would. After November, we actually don't have a December or January release, which is fine. We've had enough releases in those months. In February, however, the only Vivi will have her solo release. Kind of a full circle moment because her solo should have been in February. I'm calling her album Revivify. Not only does it include Vivi in the title, it means to give new life to. Like, that's cinema. Unfortunately, I do not listen to a lot of Cantonese or Mandarin music, so I will be using Korean songs. For her album, it opens with the title track by Aping's Hayoung, Don't Make Me Laugh. The soft vocals and acoustic style just suits Vivi so much. It makes me think of pastel colors and bright blue skies, which is very Vivi to me. After that, I put BB's Eat My Love. It's another song with quite soft vocals, but I think this could be a good promotional B-side for Vivi. It's easy to bop along to. Oh yeah! Feel me, feel you, I got some love. That leads us to the ultimate Vivi genre in the form of Che Hart's Elastic Love, City Pop. You are lying to yourself if you say you've never thought Vivi should cover a Yukika song. Either that or you've never listened to Yukika. However, from the first time I heard Elastic Love, I thought it would suit Vivi so much. Speaking of Yukika, the next song on the tracklist is her song Shade. The fact that not everyone listens to Yukika is an actual crime. There are so many songs of hers that I need Vivi and Goon to cover, but Shade is one song that I think suits Vivi more than any other LOONA member. Closing the album is Yeri's Dear Diary. We're back to the acoustic instrumentals. Aside from the vocals, a big reason why I think this song would really suit Vivi is because, and keep in mind this is information from a few years ago, she writes in a diary. I am 98.9% certain that she would write great reflective lyrics. I also imagine this would be in Cantonese even if the rest of the album would be Korean. But that brings us to March, where we will be greeted by none other than Miss Cho Haseul. She is a singer. She loves to sing. Her opera training means her high notes and head voice are really her strongest vocal skill, but I want to see more from her. We already saw those skills in Let Me In, so I want to focus on her lower range, which is also gorgeous, if in need of some development, but this is Haseul we're talking about. And because we're talking about her, I decided the most fitting album title for her would be Siren Song. If you don't know what that is, sirens are basically singing mermaids who would lure sailors to their death with their enchanting singing. That's essentially how Haseul's voice sounds to me. Some may not get the vision, but for her title track, I chose Bolfor's Some. It's bright and sweet just like her. Just as planned, this allows her to show off more of her lower range while still being light and airy, which is where she really shines. She also plays guitar, so she could even perform an acoustic version of it on her own, easily. This wouldn't be a Haseul solo album without some IU thrown in there. Their tones are just too similar. However, I like going against the grain, so it's not Lilac, My Sea, Good Day, or any of the other IU songs people like to give her. Instead, I chose Flu. I know I'm biased since I obviously wouldn't choose songs that I don't enjoy listening to anyways, but this song is so boppable. Moving on, following that is another Chungha song. She features a lot on this project now that I think about it. Anyways, would anyone expect the next song to be X? I don't think so, really, but it's exactly within Haseul's wheelhouse and can especially highlight her emoting skills. I just love instrumentals with drums and guitars. That leads us into finally some piano and strings. Who here has seen Hotel del Luna? Well, we already had an IU song, so why not use an OST from a drama starring her? The song really reminds me of Taeyeon's Purpose album, and the instrumentals, but done for me by Punch, is really so Haseul coded. Even the second verse rap part is perfectly tailored to her. If you listen to the song and you can't hear Haseul, I will personally go to the Mod House building and get her to sing it. The last song on the album is another LOONA song, the soloist and FX member, not the group. The song features singer-songwriter George, but I allowed myself to be completely delusional and say this would be Do You Love Me featuring EXO's Kai. I will be manifesting it. I need it to happen so bad. If you haven't heard this song before, just listen and close your eyes and imagine it's Haseul and Kai and thank me later. April is another month where I have 2 albums, so again, we'll start with the earlier one. This time it's none other than Choerry. You're gonna agree with my album name so much, it's going to make your head spin. Ready? Blossoms. Get it? Because Choerry blossoms? God, like it literally came to me in a vision. That's a big reason why I wanted her release to be in April, because that's prime cherry blossom season. Also, it's not that I don't think she could carry a solo album, but something came over me and I decided that her solo album should be a collaboration album. Someone as lovable as Choerry, there's no way people wouldn't jump at the chance to sing with her. The first song is also the title track. This time it's Alice's Sohee featuring Ball 4 for her solo debut, Hurry Up. Because the Ball 4 feature is just the rap, I figured I should choose a rapper who can also sing, and I landed on Belly's Moon Soa. Stan Billy, by the way. The rap tone just suits her so much, but I figured she could also sing a bit in the chorus and such. The second song is Red Velvet Joy's collaboration with Lee Hyun-wook, I'm Okay. Her tone in that song was just so bright and positive, I knew I had to get Choerry. However, her version is featuring Wonstein. After that is another song where I let myself be delusional. It's also the third track featured from Soyeon's only mini album, which only has 7 songs. Anyways, Hello featuring Eric Nam, except me? I'm putting Kyungsoo in there. If you've heard Choerry on live singing along to EXO's First Snow, you would know how good their voices sound together. If Zico got him to do a dance challenge with his boy group, then anything's possible. The last collaboration of the album is Kim Sejong featuring Il Boy's Warning. Except I'm delusional as hell and think Mark from NCT would be the feature. Not that I think he wouldn't want to, but if we're counting Mystic Story, SM artists make up 3 out of 4 features on this album. Anyways, the last song and the only solo song on the album is Hyorin's You Know Better. I imagine this is a song she would release a music video for, aside from the title track. Me, personally, I'm seeing windy seaside cliffs and walking on a dirt road. All this brings us to the 2nd April release, Yves. For her album title, something about unreality just spoke to me. Yves just feels like someone that title would resonate with. She's kind of the other side of Kim Lip's solo album style, also having songs I would play if I were a DJ at a club. The first and the title track is also the 3rd track I'm using from Chungha's Querencia album, Dream of You. Just try to tell me Yves wouldn't devour a song and performance like this. You literally can't. Which is why I will be campaigning for her to post a dance cover of this. The next song on the album is Girls' Generation's Yuri's C'est la vie, That's Life. I swear other people have assigned this as her solo in those threads where they give LOONA new solos, and as they should, it fits her like a glove. Continuing that vibe, but a bit more emotional, is Susie's Yes, No, Maybe. Yes, no, maybe. I don't know really what to say about it, it's just so incredibly Yves to me. The fourth song I'm including is less club banger, more end of the night, the club is closing. ID's Caffeine would use more of her breathy register, but I have full faith in Yves' ability to pull it off. The last song on the album is a wild turn into acoustic guitars. Taeyeon's 11:11 could really fit either Kim Lip or Yves, but for this project I felt like it just went much better as an Yves song. If you imagine Caffeine has a long outro with sounds of waves crashing, it makes so much sense. We're finally in May, nearly full circle, and there we're greeted by Jinsoul. I don't really know what it is, maybe I just think Jinsoul has that kind of vibe, but I decided to call her album Love in Fiction. I figured it would be so cool if her album concept is greatest love stories of all time. I'm thinking there's 4 concepts: Romeo and Juliet, Pride and Prejudice, Titanic, and Yulro and Mago from Korean mythology. The album is led by the title track, Gaen's second feature in the project, this time in the form of Bloom. You just kind of have to understand Jinsoul's voice the way I do to get why this is the perfect song for her. I'm also a bit tired of her always getting dark songs just because Singing in the Rain was future bass. However, I am not immune to propaganda, and the second song on the album that might even be a double title track, I'm just saying, is Yeji's Home. At the very least, a promoted B-side with a lyric video. If that chorus doesn't make you want to go to a summer concert and lose all sense of time, we can't be friends. Sorry, it just scratches the most wonderful nostalgic itch in my brain. I said on my personal Twitter like 3 months ago, I think, that I really think Yuna's End Theory album should be what Jinsoul's solo album should sound like, and this isn't a song from that album. However, it is Yuna's song Dark Cloud. I think it would really drive home the emotional quality of Jinsoul's emoting capabilities to have it so suddenly after Home. It does kind of remind me of Jinsoul's OST as time goes. You are not going to believe which soloist from a girl group originally sings the next song. It's Taeyeon again. This time, an actual song from her Purpose album in the form of Better Babe. It's so sultry and would show off Jinsoul's lower register and her powerful vocals.
Now you make me better, babe. Better, babe. Better, babe. Better, babe.
Punch makes her second appearance in the project, but this time with one of her own songs. Love Me is so 30s sounding to me, but I'm bad with musical decades and genres. I already told you I deal in vibes. Either way, I think it's a strong ending to the album that still makes the transition smooth if you want to loop it. Are we at the final month and member already? Time really flies when you live in a world of delusions. If you've been following along, you should know that the final girl in this project is none other than Go On. She gives off such high fashion vibes. I feel like nothing would be more appropriate than Gallery Atelier for her solo album. An atelier is just a fancy word for a workshop or studio, so gallery means it's on display, but atelier represents that she's still working on her art. I was thinking it would be so cool if she could collaborate with Dior for the music video and photo shoot. It's not the title track, but the album opens with IDs and New. I have no idea what her style of music is called, but it's gorgeous. Can we please get a comeback queen? Something about her voice in the song really reminds me of Go-on's, and something about the song just makes it feel like a beginning. The next song is actually what I wanted to be her title track, but I don't know how many people will agree with me on it. IU's BB just sounds like it could be a Go-on song to me. The songs I picked for her are very dependent on vocal tones because Go-on's is so distinct. The third track goes a bit more city pop magical with Love Game by Pretty Little Iris. As soon as I heard the song, I knew it would suit Go-on so much. I imagine this would be a great promotional B-side. Slowing things down with Yena's Before Anyone Else, it has the same kind of layering that I really loved in One and Only. After that is LOONA yet again, this time her song Bye Bye. These last two songs are kind of the representative ballads of the album. I wouldn't expect them to be everyone's favorite songs, but I think Go-on just suits songs where her voice gets to be the main event. Did you think it was over? You thought wrong. Go1 is the only solo album that I thought needed a bonus track. Why? Because Yena's Pretty Boys fits her so perfectly, but it didn't fit the album I created, so she gets a bonus track.
그 남잔 위험한 pretty boy 따라 띠띠따띠다 따라 띠띠따띠다.
So that's the last album done. Wow. This was a lot of fun for me. I would love to hear everyone's thoughts on both my picks and your own vision for the girls' solos. I'm also really hoping I remember to edit album covers and that they don't look awful. Also, if like any CTD-E&M employee is watching, please send me a job application link because I have so many ideas for Hyunjin and Vivi specifically, as well as Yeojin, Heejun, and Go1, and I'm about to post a video on that too once I finish editing it. Adding on at the absolute very end of the video that I cannot believe we're actually about to have Odd Eye Circle and EXO promoting our music shows at the same time. If they don't interact, I'll have to take drastic measures. On that note though, I hope everyone will check out both Odd Eye Circle's comeback this Wednesday, the 12th, and EXO's comeback on Monday the 10th. I hope both of them can get a music show win each. I need these encores. Also, sorry about my voice, I woke up super congested and haven't been able to shake it.